we're gonna have some discussions and talk about, we're gonna finish up the normal aging and then we're gonna jump right into the stuff about dementia.
We're gonna start with the video. Today we're gonna do some more discussions, so there's gonna be some times when we say, turn together, talk to each other, and we're gonna ask some questions after so we can get some feedback from you guys, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, here we go.
Perfect.
Nobody in this?
No, go ahead and sit
Have a
down,
seat.
Daniel.
We need to do a quick review because we've changed places.
Too loud.
And one of the things we know about brains is where you learn and hear something matters. And one of the things as we get older, it matters more than you think. When you change rooms, your brain resets the screen. And that is one of the reasons, even if there wasn't a phone call, you might walk from one room to the other and then, what was it I came in here for? Because when you're in a whole new setting, look at all the new data that's coming in and it's bombarding your senses. And if you didn't strongly hook the thing you wanted to go do into that, what's called working memory, by the time you get to the new place, there's nothing to find. Unless you go back to where you had the thought before and then you can find it. Now, I just said a word that's really important, working memory. We now know there's a whole variety of different kinds of memory storage in the human brain. We used to just think it was either long-term and short-term. That's not true. Working memory is probably one of the most vital kinds of memories, and it involves a complex process. Do this. Working memory means that you have to wire together all parts of your brain to get it to work. Because it's complex, human beings can hold the following number of things in working memory. Working memory means I'm able to manipulate and work with them all at the same time. 5, put your hand up. 5, isn't that wonderful? 5 to 8. That's the most a human being can hold on to, and this is the least that a normal functioning human being should be able to hold on to at a time. 5 to 8. So I should be able to hold on to at least 5 pieces of information in my working memory. It's actually pretty complicated. I've got to do a variety of things to do it, but I can. So what I did when I wanted to make coffee, when I was sitting there, finished the TV program, I put make coffee in working memory. And then I went to a new place, and before I could get settled in the new place, the kitchen, which is where I would make the coffee, the telephone rings. So I didn't quite make it to the kitchen to establish the relationship, which would have allowed me to go ahead and do what? Make coffee. I could have finished it off, but instead, what happened is the telephone rang. Attention, attention, new data, incoming. So what I did is I went and I answered the telephone, and the first thing, it was my friend. Now I got diverted a little bit because what did I have to find? Because the way she did it. Her name, and so that took a little energy, so it's my friend Betty. And then she asked me a question, do you want to meet? She gave me data at 2 o'clock, at the mall, at Macy's. She told me there was a new chocolate store that opened. And then I had to hold on to the information about that, and then I had to go find the thing that I know she likes. So I had to go do that, and it was the white, shut up, the white. Now that reaction was you trying to give me more data when I was already trying to work with data. And so what did you notice my little limbic did? Shut up, I don't like that. So shut up is a way to say you're trying to do too much and I didn't like that, and it's a fight system. It was an automatic. So people say, shut up, I'm trying to, but you leave me alone. That distress sign is just you're trying to put data in and I'm already processing, do you mind? And what you want to say is, I'm sorry. I said, I'm sorry, I was just trying to help you. It was like, what part of I was trying to process data and you're interrupting, did you not get? And what's our natural reaction when somebody says, shut up? No, I was going to tell you why I was interrupting you.
Thank you.
That's what you want to do, do this. Go ahead, do it. Y'all love diarrhea of the mouth. You get diarrhea of the mouth. You try to tell them even when they said, don't tell me. You ignore their message back to you because you have important. You wanted to understand why you interrupted them. I don't give a shit why you interrupted me. All I'm trying to tell you is quit interrupting me so I can finish what I was doing. Now, some of us are always that way, but guess what happens when you get dementia? Even if you weren't, you become more that way. Guess what happens when you're stressed? Same thing. So professionals, when you're trying to talk to families about, this is what I want you to, shut up, I can't take it. Family members, you're trying to talk to another family member. I can't hear this right now, would you? particularly you're trying to talk to the one who's the primary, because you're observing that their behavior is not helping, and they're going, ah! And you're going, wait, I just want to tell you. What did they just tell you? I'm full, leave it alone. We have a hard time hearing that message, don't we? Because it means we need to do what? Take that time out, just shut up. And then when they pause, that's when you say, I'm sorry, I interrupted what you were doing. Because we want to work with them, not fight with them. And if you keep pushing your agenda, do this, take your finger and poke at somebody with it. Go ahead, poke. How many of you like being poked with that? Would you just be quiet? So what I'm going to tell you, this is a critical message that for you to get into your brain and appreciate. When I give you negative feedback, it's not because I'm trying to be ugly. It's I'm trying to get you to listen to me. Because you're generally trying to talk to me. So I put coffee in there, but all this other stuff. I filled up all the space. Not only the 5, I'm going to have caramels, but you're going to have coconut, and we need to meet at the menswear entrance. So what will I not have with me when I get there? The vacation pictures, and who will I not have called? Margaret. Where's coffee? Well, I lost that a long time ago. That's not even on the table anymore. I mean, it's long gone. I don't even have a way to get to it anymore right now. Except, if you're a young person, you're young, and your wiring is really good and quick, what will happen? What's the first thing I did when I couldn't think what it was? I looked around the kitchen. So the first thing you do is you look around the kitchen. A young person hasn't done that much stuff in the kitchen. So they look around the kitchen, and what do their eyes notice? The coffee pot, and they go, cha-ching, drop the penny. They don't have to go anywhere. You're a little older. You've done a lot of things in the kitchen. Some of them we want to talk about, some we don't. But you've done so many things in the kitchen, you can't look around the kitchen and get it to pop. So then you try system number 2. You always go in this order. You talk to yourself. Tell your children it's healthy. Because what you're literally trying to do by talking out loud is prompt the memory of why you came in there. You literally say to yourself, and everybody did it, I heard some of y'all do it. Now what did I come in here for? Because now you've moved to auditory cueing. You're trying to cue yourself up, because if you say it out loud, maybe it will prompt what it was. It will be enough of a cue to get you to go, cha-ching, there it is. But that didn't work either. Because when you get a little older, it wasn't firmly enough embedded, and there's too many other things floating around now. I've lost it. So I have to actually physically travel back to the setup where I was. And then if you watched, I tried the whole thing all over again. I looked at the chair, I looked at the TV. I say to myself, I was watching TV, the program ended, and I still couldn't get it to pop until, cha-ching, there it was, right there waiting for me in my working memory. I just couldn't get to it. Normal aging. That's absolutely normal. All of that is normal.
All right, for review, so what are some features that you noticed about normal aging? What are some things that we talked about that are normal? Forgetting, like maybe you can't recall a word. Okay, what's another one?
All of them negative.
Anybody else? Are you fast at thinking? No, we're slower to think. Okay, slower to do.
Move
What?
around.
Okay, what else?
Get dressed. Dress yourself.
So thinking about like if you're forgetting things, so you may hesitate more.
Pay attention.
Pay attention. You may pause when you're trying to find the word. I mean, how many people have grandchildren or children and call multiple names before you get to the right kid? It's perfectly normal. I used to do that to my grandmother. She had so many grandkids, and she'd go through all of them, and I'd go, I'm done. And now I know that was probably not very nice that I did that, you know, and she'd go, I know who you are. She just couldn't get to it. Any other that you can think of? Can't recall a word, so maybe you describe it. Can't remember what the name of the car was, but it's that sports car that with the fin on the back, you know, the one, like that kind of stuff. You know, yes,
Right.
you know, but it's there, and that's all normal.
How about
Okay.
asking questions?
Asking questions is a perfect example.
Okay, I was thinking,
Okay,
you have all this saying what you're gonna have here, or whatever it is you're gonna have, the games or whatever,
uh-huh.
but you don't ever put the place where it's gonna be.
Well, we're gonna get to that, okay? So I want you to turn to your partners at your table, sitting next to you, and I want you to discuss, why do you think there's so much misunderstanding with normal aging? Why do you think there's so much misunderstanding with normal aging? Tell me, what do you think?
Why is there so much misunderstanding?
With normal aging? Why do we think something's wrong with someone? Why do we misunderstand that it's normal aging? Why do we think there's so much misunderstanding? You're older, you just assume that
Good personality.
something's wrong with them, but,
Yeah.
right, okay?
Because you lacking on the
What are some features of normal aging that can create friction, stress, or problems between people that are trying to interact together? I gave you one a minute ago. What's something that can cause some friction or stress when you're trying to interact and someone's having some normal aging interference?
Not remembering.
And then you're prompting them,
Russian.
Dawn,
One person doesn't speak
rushing
English,
them,
won't understand what I'm saying.
right?
But I need them to.
Yeah. Rushing is a good example, and that's a good example. Give them more time. Now that I'm more educated, I notice when people are helping the elderly and they're going so fast, like their words are just going, and they're looking at them like, why aren't you responding? And I'm thinking they're probably on the first sentence that you gave them.
Still processing.
Because I'm thinking you talk too fast. So, great examples. All right. Go ahead, Megan.
Okay, so how has learning about your brain and how it works affected your way of thinking today? Or what we've learned?
Can you repeat that?
So like, this question always gets people like, wait. So, how has learning about your brain and how it works affected your thinking? So now that you know that it's normal, that grandma's calling you every grandchild's name and not yours, now you know, well, that's kind of normal, right?
Maybe more open-minded, so
I knew it was normal when I started going.
you did?
That's how I knew it was normal. 'cause
Sometimes
was
I-
their age.
Okay. I come out of my office on a daily basis and walk to the person next to me and go, she says what? And I said, I don't remember what I was gonna say. And I go back in my office and I think, what was I gonna ask her? And I have to sit down back at my desk so I can picture what it was I was doing, and I remind myself, this is normal, it's okay, even though sometimes I feel like it's happening more and more, but that's okay. So I'm more open-minded about it and more forgiving of myself and others, right? Okay. So, so we're gonna review. We didn't go over this a lot yesterday. We talked about it briefly, but how should you greet someone? Hi. Say your name. Hi, my name is Dawn, and you are, and it's nice to say their name. Hi, Stacy. I'm Dawn. Okay. All right.
If someone seems to be looking for a word, what is a great option to give the person a chance? Like, what is a good option for that?
Don't rush them.
I silently count in my head. I'm like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'll be like, okay, are you talking about your drink? But I try not to do that because I do get frustrated.
And if you've got more than 5 things to remember, because she said 5 is the least, 8 is the most that we can remember. That's why phone numbers are 7 numbers long. If y'all know that, that's why they only have 7 digits in a phone number, because people can't remember more.
I didn't know that.
What's a good way that you can compensate for only being able to remember 5 things if you have a groceries to go buy? What's a way to get around that?
I make a list and still forget everything on the grocery.
Okay, perfect. A list is a perfect way. Write it down, make a list. That's a good way to compensate. I tell that to my elderly on a daily basis who are struggling to remember things. Make a list. We make lists for their medications, we make lists with the schedule. So because most of the time their reading is intact, they're not just normal age-related changes, they can follow a list. But trying to get them to remember all of the things that have to happen, and they have a doctor's appointment, and their daughter said, don't forget, you're supposed to call your grandson at 4 o'clock because it's their birthday. They're not gonna remember all of that, so make a list and write it down, okay?
So if you're dealing with somebody normal aging and they need directions, how would you give directions to somebody with normal aging?
Like directions to where?
Anywhere, driving somewhere,
I'm not good with that. I get lost. I gotta have a GPS.
right?
But an older person, it's gonna be hard for them to use a GPS, right? Some of my caregivers that are older struggle to use a GPS.
Yes. I have an app on my phone called Waze,
Mhm.
and it takes me right to the door or wherever I need to go.
How about landmarks?
Landmarks.
Instead of saying turn right on Bryant Urban, turn left on whatever, say there's a 7-Eleven on the corner, turn right by 7-Eleven. You go to the next street, there's gonna be a Chevron, and make a left on the Chevron. And use landmarks so that when you're trying to help an older person get directions. If you go down the hall, there's a dining room, make a left at the dining room. Okay, instead of make the first left, make the first right, try to give them a landmark that they can identify.
Go eastbound on
Yeah.
20, they'd be like,
Yeah.
excuse me?
Yeah. Go like you're going towards Fort Worth. They could say they know which way to go towards Fort Worth, but they may not know west and east. Okay? Alright, so, looks like, so for your reference, the limbic system is the core of the brain, and that's what we thrive to survive. So our core is gonna be hunger, thirst, elimination, wake, sleep, fight, infection, hurt, and breathing rate. Okay, so a core is gonna be controlling, again, hunger, thirst, elimination, which is urination and the other, our wake sleep cycle, fighting infection, and our heart and breathing rate. Our amygdala is our threat awareness, which is our automatic and immediate survival rate. How many in here are fighters versus flighters? You know which one you are. My son is a flight. He like collapses when you scare him, like he runs and like collapses. I'm a fight. I punch people, I punched my husband, I punched my kids, they jumped out and scared me, and my first reaction is to punch.
Me too.
Okay, so everybody's a little bit different, but that's all controlled by your amygdala. And so to review, she says, I want what I want when I want it, and I want it now. So when someone is trying to use the restroom, or they have to get one of those things and they can't communicate, you're gonna see some of those behaviors. I need something now.
Yes.
Okay, but they're not able to get that expressed to you. All right. I think we're ready to start the next video.
So the next section is a scenario where she has dementia. So it's kind of funny.
I'm in the living room and I've been watching TV and the program ends and I said, well, you know what, I think I'll go make something to drink, because that's my lunch time. I'll make some of the stuff that you get. Gonna make it. Phone rings. Hello? Hey, sweetheart. Yeah. Who is this exactly? Betty who? Oh, well, why didn't you say? Okay, well, what do you want? Me, today? Well, why do you wait till the last minute? I wish you'd tell me ahead of time. Well, I don't remember you talking about it at Bridge. Did you talk about it at Bridge? Well, you talk all the time at Bridge. Your mouth runs incessantly. Huh? Well, okay, I don't mean to be mean, but you just talk a lot, that's all. What? Oh, you wanna meet at the mall? Okay, well, that's fine, which end? 2 o'clock? Yeah. Macy's? Well, honey, I don't think there's a Macy's at that mall. Where's there a Macy's? No, that's a JCPenney. It's a JCPenney's. I have a card with them. I have a credit card with them. I know what it is. I buy things there. What do you mean they moved out? No, I shopped there not long ago. There's no way they moved out. Did they just close up? Well, good Lord. No, that's still, you sure? I don't think you're wrong. Well, fine, I'll meet you at that end. I know what you're talking about then. Huh? Inside the men's, well, of course I know where inside the menswear is, but you better get to the right store. You're not gonna be there. Huh? All right, well, fine, whatever. What? Oh, they opened a chocolate store. Well, you know me, I love that. That's my favorite. What? Well, I'll have caramel, and you'll get the, oh, you like the kind of brown hairy ball and the brown stuff. What do you mean, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the brown hairy ball kind that you like. You like the brown hairy ball. Do you speak English? Honest to God, get what you want. I don't give a shit. I mean, whatever. I don't want to start arguing about this. Huh? Well, no, I'll call her and see if she wants to come. That's fine. What? The vacation pictures. Oh, back on the boat? Yeah, I'll bring them. Wait till you see yourself in that Benson. Well, honey, you look like a cat. No, I'm telling you, your butt cheek is hanging out so bad. I mean, it looks I mean, you must have put on, what, 30 pounds? I mean, you're eating too many of the brown hairy ball things. That's what's going on. I mean, that's all I can tell you about it, because you gotta be sucking them down, because the way it's covered. Well, if you don't like looking the way you look, you should do something about it. That's what I say. Well, listen, do you want to get together? You're going to get next to. Well, then I'll see you there too. That's fine. I don't know why you're so stirred up. You're the one eating. All right, then. Shit. I mean, I don't know what her problem is. The Lord, she gets an attitude. No. Here. Oh. A dirty cup. A coffee cup. Now, I told my son that I was fairly sure that gypsies were coming in here at night and making coffee, drinking my coffee, and leaving dirty dishes, because I've never left a dirty dish in my life. And here it sits, a dirty coffee cup, partially drunk out of. I guarantee it has their prominence all over it. And I better go check the bathroom, because sure, when they get in here and get that, they'll steal toilet paper too. They always steal toilet paper. Look at that. See, the roll's empty again. They come in here and he thinks I'm not nuts, because I saw that it's gone. Well, I'm gonna go down to the corner store here and get some toilet paper, because there's nothing worse than constipation and you got to go and there's no toilet paper. You got to have some. So I go down to the corner store and I pick up a few things that I need, because I know there's some things I need. And I come back and I go to put them in the fridge and such, and there's another quart of milk in there. Well, I wonder who brought that by. I don't know when they brought that. Well, good, I can make use of it, it'll be fine. And let me go put this toilet paper up. You know, I'm not gonna put it in here, because sure as hell they'll steal it just like they stole the other stuff. I'm gonna go put this in the spare bedroom closet, because they won't think to look there. Okay, here we go. Oh my God. This is where they're keeping it till they bring a truck to come pick it up. There's gotta be 30 rolls right there. I'm gonna hide it under the bed. They won't know where to look for it. At 10 minutes after 2, the telephone rings. Hello? Well, hi there. How are you?
Mine.
What do you mean, where am I? I'm at home. Where are you?
Wow.
What are you doing at the mall? Well, if you wanted me to come to the mall, you should have called me. I can't read your mind. What do you mean you did? Who'd you talk to? No, I didn't talk to you, I remember if I talked to you, I haven't talked to you in, I don't know, a month or so.